Kia ora. Today we're up in the absolutely beautiful Rock and Pillar Ranges. We're up at about 14,000 meters, well above the snow line, as you can see. There's some amazing plants and animals up this high up.
So, it's man versus maunga. We're going to show you some of the amazing animals that reside up here where it's freezing cold. It's about 8:52, but the chase didn't begin now.
It's just coming up on 3 o'clock now. Just come to pick up Sam from his place. How this place got its name, the Rock and Pillars, is actually quite a funny story. So, way back in the day, these rocks, wait, no way, quick. No way. Oh, mate, so this is Salmisia viscosa, right? So it's one of our amazing mountain daisies from the Salmisia genus, quite a large genus in New Zealand. Now, New Zealand is a really large range of daisies, but the Salmisias are the most amazing because they grow up at the top of these mountains and they produce amazing large flowers that are really important for a lot of alpine species. Most of the time, Salmisias are all white. And the reason behind that is that New Zealand is quite a non-specific pollinator group, right? So plants want to be very non-specific with their color patterns so that lots of different pollinators, whatever around, will be able to pollinate them.
Oh, yo, Taylor. Bro, this right here is a Māori. Now, not the usual kind of Māori, not the kind you're familiar with, not the human Māori. This is Hemidana Māori, the alpine tree wetter. And what a beautiful big boy he is. You can see here he's got this massive jaws. We call those mandibles. Now, males have huge heads and they use those to fight off other males for the rights of females. So typically a male with a bigger head, bigger jaws will have a higher chance of mating with females. Is he not fantastic or what? As you can see, he is tearing into me because he's not a happy camper. These guys are nocturnal, which means they only come out at night time to feed on stuff like snowberries and other wee bits of vegetation. So at the moment, we're kind of woken him up from his beauty sleep. Now, one of the most fascinating things about these guys is they have this amazing ability to survive being frozen up in this alpine area. So, they have these ice nucleating agents in their hemolymph, which is kind of like the insect equivalent of blood, and that basically delays the formation of crystals, which means they don't have damage to all their cell membranes and all that good stuff. So, amazingly, these guys can survive in temperatures of up to -9 degrees for about 5 hours.
So, it's a bit weird really, these guys being called alpine tree wetter. I mean, the words alpine and tree are almost mutually exclusive. I mean, you can see where we are now. There's not a lot of trees. So why are they called tree wetter? And that's because they are really closely related to the tree wetter that we find in forests. So all the other tree wetter are of the same genus, Hemidana, and they all have trees. Now, once upon a time, there would have been trees here. Just the earth and the climate aren't consistent over time. So a long time ago, this place was probably a lot different. We know that this metamorphic rock was formed deep underground and now it's been lifted up to the top of the mountain. So it's highly likely that At one point, this was forest, and the tree weta were living just like normal tree weta amongst all the trees. And then over time, as this mountain grew, instead of the weta leaving their home, they kind of adapted and evolved to live in this amazing environment. Now, because it's a bit weird to really call them alpine tree weta, some people now call these guys alpine stone weta, which makes a lot more sense. Much more stone up here than there are trees, that's for sure.
So these guys actually have beautiful coloration that helps them really blend into their terrain. They also have much more robust and stocky bodies compared to their lowland counterparts, and that's part and parcel of helping retain heat up in this cold mountainous range. Check this just out. This right here, this is a rock, but not just any ordinary rock. This is the schist. It's a metamorphic rock that's been melted down by different types of rock within the Earth's mantle, forming what we know as the Haast schist. So it's beautiful, and it's got this sort of basically plains where you can break it up, and it forms most of these wonderful rocks here. Pretty big schists if you ask me.
When rock splits apart along a plain, we call that cleavage. And Haast schist splits very, very easily. So you could say it's got great cleavage. So up here, we're surrounded by snow. Now, I bet you're wondering, snow, what could possibly be made of? Well, I'll tell you something. Believe it or not, snow is frozen water. We have found ourselves in one of Central Otago's many rocky outcrops. Now, these are fantastic places for some of New Zealand's most beautiful wildlife. One of the species we've just encountered is a species of woodworthier gecko. Now, it could be one of three undescribed species. It could be the korero gecko, it could be the schist gecko, or it could be the Otago large. Now, these geckos can be hard to tell apart, especially since some of them are large, and we are in Otago. They're definitely living in schist, and we can korero about all of them. So it is very tricky to tell these apart. Now, geckos are absolutely beautiful. They're one of my favourite animals. Now, they're all rare. Now, they're not just rare like the kiwi is because it's being eaten by introduced predators. These guys are still getting nailed by introduced predators, but also they're getting nailed by something else. And that's poachers. They're one of our few species of wildlife that's actively poached for the illegal pet trade. It's so sad to know that these amazing rare animals are being taken away, sometimes stuffed in people's undies and taken overseas to be kept in average conditions in people's tanks. It just breaks my heart.
So most of these geckos are nocturnal, which means they only come out at night time, but during the daytime they can often be sunbasking. One of the other wonderful lizards we've seen up here is the McCann skink. We have many skinks in New Zealand, and the McCann skink is a common example. They also live a similar lifestyle, except they tend to be diurnal and come out during the daytime. So they'll hang around on rocks, basking in the sun because they're ectothermic animals. The McCann skink also belongs to the Oligosoma genus, which means that it gives birth to live young. Many lizards lay eggs, however these guys don't. They're just wonderful lizards and some of New Zealand's most fantastic and beautiful wildlife.
Now, there are over 100 species of these absolutely incredible lizards of New Zealand. Some misguided people have been known to call this place a land of birds, but really, it's a land of reptiles. Oh, jeepers. Ooh! I've been bitten by a lot of weta, and that's something else. That's oh. Ooh. Oh.